evening and welcome to Unapologetic, the UK podcast on politics, news and stuff from a right-of-centre viewpoint. And here we are, back again. A little bit of a break. Everyone's had a bit of a breather and relax and a chill out and ready to roll again. We've got a few things to talk about tonight. But first of all, who have we got? We've got Jonathan.
Hello.
We've got Susan.
Hello.
And we've got Sam.
Hi.
And I'm Steve. So the whole team's here. And what are we going to talk about? Well, got a few things on the agenda. But before I start, is there anything pressing that anyone desperately wants us to discuss today? Now, don't say any of the really obvious ones, because obviously I'm going to be doing those. But is there some kind of weird story you thought, well, I'd like us to talk about that tonight? Now's the time to say it.
No.
See, normally I ask you that at the end, and you always say no as well. The same at the end. So I thought I'd try at the beginning, see if I got a bit more pizzazz. But
Well, we could talk about the mask thing at the minute, where it's like social shaming if you don't wear one and saving the world if you do. That'd be quite an interesting one.
yeah, I mean, I haven't really noticed that. I can see it's in the news a little bit, but I don't hardly see anyone wearing masks. I mean, what do you think about? Well, what do you think about that, Susan? Do you think you should or shouldn't wear a mask?
Well, the thing is, I went to a local area today, which was quite busy, to be fair. All the shops are doing social distancing. I'd never had so much hand sanitizer used in all my life when I was there. Everybody was social distancing. It was really, really good. But honestly, every time I turn on Facebook at the moment, it's you're the worst person in the world if you don't wear a mask. Now, we had taken our masks in case any shop asked us to wear one, but we didn't fit because we were keeping 2 meters distance. We didn't put any on. But no, I think I must have probably seen 3 people at the whole 4-hour shopping trip with a mask on. So
yeah, I mean, aside from the people, who
One of them was the Lone Ranger.
aside from the people that are kind of absolutely terrified, I think a lot of people kind of feel like it's coming to the end. Although you wouldn't believe it with some of the things the government's still putting out. I mean, what do you think, Jonathan? You're a man who has to wear a mask even when there's no COVID.
Exactly. I don't look at all like this normally. What's interesting, they're always on about this second wave. I think what you've got is
Well, that was a noisy
second
engine.
wave of grumblers. People who have been self-isolating and have emerged from their cocoons or whatever, and they suddenly want everybody to go back about 5 weeks to the sort of level of panic they were at before. And so as a consequence, you've got this sort of new generation of people who genuinely have got a bit of an issue with coronavirus, who've sort of emerged onto the streets and are now sort of slagging off people who couldn't give a toss and causing social friction.
What do you think, Sam?
So I think that no one's wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. I don't even own a mask.
But the pressure at the moment is for the government to, like some countries have done, to make it legal that you must wear a mask, make it the law.
Making this pressure, I've not heard this.
Yeah, it's been in the headlines today. But I don't think Boris is going to do it, but people are trying to pressure him to.
I would rather have to wear a mask and no social distancing.
Yeah.
I don't mind wearing a mask. I don't mind not doing it or doing it. If somebody asks me to wear one, I'll wear one. I'm not overly bothered about it. Though I did wear one the other day in the car because I had other people in the car. And I really felt quite lightheaded. I have to say, within about a 5, 6, 7 minute journey, I was a bit like, whoo, which probably weren't the ideal thing in a car when you're driving. So I genuinely, when people sit and say they struggle to wear one, I can see why. And I have no breathing problems.
Yeah,
that's an interesting point because I went off to Cambridge. We went to Emmaus, which is sort of a charity shop, for want of a better word. And they're quite stringent with their kind of regulations. So we had to sort of wear face masks. So I took with me my shamag, which is a sort of article of clothing, I guess, and wore that. And the only problem was that I think it's obviously got some grass pollen in it, and I tend to get hay fever. So I spent the whole time going around the place wearing a shamag, sneezing, and like yourself, I was beginning to go faint from sneezing because sneezing into a rag all the way around quite a large complex. You know, because they've sort of arranged it a bit like IKEA now. So you know, once you're in, you can never escape.
This is truly tragic.
Hey, Rob.
You and Susan's stories are touching my heart. What you have to
I know.
what you have to go through.
And they will touch the nation. You know.
I'm just saying, 6-7 minute journeys are not as nice as they used to be. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and well, not just that. I mean, if you're feeling faint whilst driving, that's not really a positive thing.
So you're telling me
It weren't.
Are you telling me that before all of this, you were like, I'm going on a 6 or 7 minute journey. I can't wait. Anyway,
Well, I never got to the end of it going, whoa, my head.
Let's actually get onto the agenda, guys. So the first item on the
But
agenda,
anyway,
Talking of people who can't wait,
or
I'll bring up the topic of haircuts. And loads of my friends have got really excited about the fact they can go to the barbers. And I had no idea I'd got as many gay friends. And, you know, I'm left gobsmacked, really.
I saw that joke the other day on social media.
Yeah, I mean, it just, you know, amazing.
That's a terrible slur on the alternative lifestyle communities, Jonathan. How dare you? Why shouldn't people want to have a haircut? You're only moaning because you haven't got any hair to cut. You should go for a head cut.
You should see my husband's hair. It's down to his shoulders. Honestly, he's always had a really full head of hair. He's not unlike most men that start to lose it. He's never has. His dad's exactly the same.
Well,
And he now wears a
for him,
hat.
he can grow it down to his waist and see, you know.
Honestly, it's not much. It's not much shorter than mine at the moment. It's really, really long, and he's booked in. I think next week. He can't wait.
Is it the 80s hair metal look he's going for?
And where does that rate on the the gaydar? It's if you can't wait for a haircut, you know you've got a problem.
Jonathan, I think you seem to be too concerned about this issue. If there's something you want, listen. What you do is up to you, mate. None of us are going to judge you. If you've got something you want to tell us on the world,
all I can say, Steve, is bald. All I can say is bald lives matter.
Dear, oh dear. The trouble is, right, we've kept him locked up for too long, and now we've set him free, and he's like a caged animal in the zoo. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the actual agenda. And the first item on the agenda is a group of animal rebellion protesters turned Trafalgar Square fountain water red in a demonstration against eating meat. Protesters also claimed that the COVID-19 coronavirus crisis could have been prevented by veganism. Animal Rebellion tweeted regarding the incident, Animal Rebellion have now dyed the Trafalgar Square fountains red, symbolising the blood that is on the hands of the UK government. We are here today to demand that the government prevent future pandemics by ending animal farming and transitioning to a plant-based food system. So, perfectly reasonable demands. I'm sure you're all going to agree. One we can all get behind. What do you think, Susan?
I like the symbolicness of turning some water red and then saying it's the blood on the hands of the government. I mean, right on, animal people. That's totally up there. I totally support that.
What do you think, Jonathan?
Well, I suppose it's turning water into wine, isn't it? But it's kind of very Christian and theological, but I'm not entirely sure what the connection with the these animal right nutters are.
I've got to tell you, I've seen the pictures of it. It looks absolutely horrible, actually. What do you think, Sam?
I don't know. Nothing's going to stop me eating bacon and sausages, so it's a bit of a lost cause, really.
Well, right. So, go on.
They wanted to point out, they go to great pains to point out, the science tells us that 3 out of every 4 new infectious diseases originate from animals. So if we just don't eat animals, no one will ever get sick again. And
that is true.
All I would say in response to them is, vegans die of diseases
Actually,
every day.
the logic behind that, the logic behind all diseases come from animals, the logic, and if there's no point in eating them because you can't, then the easy way of making yourself disease-free is to get rid of every single animal.
Yeah, but I think, to be fair, that's part of their argument, isn't it?
No.
Part of their argument is, like, they would... like not eating them. I mean,
No, I'm talking pandas, saber-toothed tigers, the lot.
we don't eat pandas.
No, but
No,
Jonathan,
but
I
no,
bet
but
they're-
the point is,
I bet they're
according to
tasty.
them, they're a problem disease-wise, so we need to get rid of them. Elephants,
I'd eat a panda.
hippos, you know,
I don't
whole
think
of the animal kingdom, apart from humans, get rid of them.
Look,
we have our own diseases. To be fair,
Rishi,
and that's the thing.
Rishi
as well.
Sam, Rishi's been telling us that we should eat out to help out. I'd eat a panda to help out. Why not?
I never get a word in edgeways today.
Go on, Sam.
I was just going to say that vegans, like, the problem is they say about, oh, if we don't eat animals, it's going to save them. But it won't. People don't farm chickens for nothing and farm lambs, and they're just going to not exist. So it's like ceasing to exist. How is that any better?
is it not being murdered?
I'm all for veganism, because what it means is that a sector of the population is not buying meat, which brings down the price of meat. So it means that those who do want to eat meat can eat meat more cheaply.
That's true.
I mean,
Supply and
you know,
demand right
straightforward
there.
economics.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
To be fair, none of it, all of us eat meat on this little thing, don't we?
Yeah,
Like,
so I guess what Jonathan's saying is, thank you so much, vegans, for making our meat cheaper.
Yeah.
because
Well, they do. I mean, you know, that's economics.
If they all wanted meat as well, then it would drive the price of meat up, and
Price would go up.
my big rump steak would cost a fortune more.
ribeye steak used to be a lot more expensive than it is now.
Mm.
I do like ribeye steak.
And as well, it's not just the climate change. People tried to get rid of cows, didn't they? Because they said the methane caused dangerous ozone gases.
I think broadly, the animal rebellion and the climate rebellion people are the same people. I mean, they might they might wear a different hat on different days, but I think it's mostly the same people. There's some crossover for sure.
The only hat they don't wear is the employed hat.
And the soap hat. Well, use soap hat. We should not use these cheap stereotypes. They're not true. There's lots of clean, working environmental protesters. They're definitely out there. There's loads of them. Anyway, listen.
Really?
Yeah, that's true.
Have a career in the arts. That's it.
Protest while resting, yeah.
Moving on to agenda item 2. Liberal Democrat leader, yes, they still exist and they do still have a leader. Sir Ed Davey has hinted at a potential alliance between Labour and the Liberal Democrats as he praised leader Sir Keir Starmer. Acting leader of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Ed Davey, has praised Keir Starmer while comparing him to the former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn unfavourably. He explained it's easier to work with Sir Keir, whereas Mr Corbyn was difficult. His comments come as a warning to Prime Minister Johnson, who's seen his leading polls decline while Gaynor have regained some popularity. Speaking to Talk Radio, Mr Davey said, it was difficult to do business with Jeremy Corbyn. He was very left-wing. He stood for lots of things we don't stand for. Keir Starmer is a breath of fresh air. For those of us who are on the centre-left, I regard myself as a centre-left politician. We find him easier to work with. So, I'm interested to get your take on this. First of all, as to whether you do think that Keir Starmer is far less left-wing than Jeremy Corbyn, and also whether you can ever tell the difference between these different branches of lefties. Sam?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think even like Stalin was probably, less left-wing than Jeremy Corbyn because he was a massive socialist. So, yeah, I think like Jeremy Corbyn was a bad egg, that's for sure. But also,
but Stalin killed millions of people. Come on.
He would had he have got into power. I reckon that was his next stage because they want everyone to be equal, and they say, right, okay, like we're going to share out the turnips. Then one guy stands up and says, "Look, I don't want one turnip for my dinner," and he has to get shot in the head to keep order. That's where it goes every time. Every time it's happened in any country, it's gone that way. Anyway, Keir Starmer is less of a lefty than Jeremy Corbyn, and I've been reading quite a lot on Twitter about how a lot of the Labour members are really angry because they're saying he's not lefty enough. There's a woman who's standing for Young Labour. I wish I'd found the tweet now. And she was saying about how she wants to bring socialist values back into the Labour Party and
because Keir Starmer, he's right over there on the free market conservative side, isn't he?
Like some of these real Marxist nutters, he is. He's a right winger to them.
I've sat in on arguments between Labour and Lib Dem people, and they completely furious with one another, and I can't hear the difference. They seem to be saying the same thing at each other more loudly than each other. I can't hear the difference. I can't tell the difference. Go on, Susan.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow politics. I have no idea.
Well, glad to have you on the show.
I know. I knew you were going to say that, and I thought, can I get my phone and quickly Google what he's saying? I just don't. I mean, I knew I knew the values that Jeremy Corbyn stood for, and I genuinely feared if he ever got in power. But this new guy, I have no idea. I don't know. Sorry.
Which might be good or bad, mightn't it? Because I suppose it's good in that he isn't making everybody think he's a nutter like they did Corbyn. But then again, maybe it's bad because he's not being seen as the same sort of threat, so he'll reach some more of the middle ground. What do you think, Jonathan?
Some more of the liberal ground. How much
Middle
ground is there for the
middle ground?
Oh, the middle ground. Well, the Liberals have kind of abandoned that as a bad job, so and they've drifted over to the left. So, you know, where's the value in looking for the middle ground?
Well,
Nobody wants the middle ground.
I think Boris is actually, I hate to say it, but I think the Conservatives are trying to actually go more back to the middle ground again because, you know, not other than Brexit and sort of the immigration policies, a number of things that they've been doing lately are pretty centrist. This whole stimulation of the economy through massive spending and stuff like that. That's not the traditional Conservative way.
Do you think they've done that because of the COVID thing, though?
I'm not sure, because Boris did it a lot when he was Mayor of London, spent loads of money on big projects, and the idea is, like, if you spend money on big projects, it will kickstart the economy.
They're all Keynesians, aren't they? That's why, and lots of Conservatives are.
The what?
Sadly. They think that the
Keynes,
they think the way...
Just for Susan's kind of
Level.
background, Keynes, basically he was this nutcase from the sort of kicking around, you know, in the 1930s.
Come on, he's a world-famous economist. I mean,
the argument he put is that if you take all the government money and you spend it on stuff, then that will make everybody wealthy because they will then go and spend the money on stuff. And it will, you know, it'll recirculate round and round in the economy. And there's a thing called a multiplier effect, which will actually sort of make us all wealthy. The only snag with this is that it doesn't work. What happens in reality is you pump money into Liverpool, for example, and instead of it sort of revitalising the economy, everybody just goes and gets a bigger Japanese TV, and the Japanese economy benefits from it. It's nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from this idea that you can control the economy by making people spend more. But of course, all you're really doing is making them spend money on things that are different to what they would have otherwise spent money on, which sends false signals to the markets, which then makes the wrong things. So then down the line, you get a recession. I mean, these are very simplistic because the argument between Keynes and the other economists, the kind of Austrian economists, is bigger than that, and not space on this podcast for it. But I just wanted to say before we go any further, we're creeping up on 2,000 subs. And what's that, Sam?
Then don't forget the monetarists as well. They're a whole nother ball game.
They are. So we're creeping up on 2,000 subs. And because we're creeping up on 2,000 subs, I was thinking about getting some merch, and I thought I might...
Subs?
Yes, for the channel.
Subs, as in submarines?
Subscriptions to the channel, Jonathan. Oh,
Such a
boomer, yeah. So because and we always lose a few when we go off for a while and have a break, but they'll come back, I hope. And I thought, well, we ought to get some merch. We ought to get some t-shirts, and I've been looking for some funny things to put on t-shirts that fit the channel. And Sam's given me one. I want to do unapologetic. Turnips are freedom. I think that's a great t-shirt. But if anybody spots any other. If anybody sees any other that will be quite funny t-shirts, you let me know, and then we'll mass market them and sell 2 or something to Sam.
You like our common quotes? Like mine can be, I don't actually do politics.
I don't do politics, but
and then Sam's can be like, I don't want to share my turnip with you.
It's my turn.
Jonathan's
Hands off.
I think it's a good idea. I think we should do it.
I think Jonathan's just a boomer, I think, to be honest.
Yes. Well, what would Steve's be, though?
Careful.
You need a You need a personality to have a slogan.
Ah ha ha. Good one. Oh, you got me in the heart. Guys, so let's move on to the next agenda item. And
Moving swiftly on.
Hold on, I got a good one.
Go on then.
I forgot to record.
Yes.
Just when you said
Yes.
that, I looked at my record button and my heart skipped and I thought, oh no, I didn't, did I? But I didn't. It's recording. Anyway, so I only did it once. Let it go. Was it twice? I'm a bit croaky today. I hope it's not the phantom COVID. Anyway, guys, agenda item 3. The Chancellor yesterday, how do you say his name, by the way? Anyone know how to pronounce his name? Sorry?
Rishi Sunak.
Rishi Sunak. Yeah, good. That's what I thought it was. But I just thought if I said it and I said it wrong, everybody would be like, you don't even know how to say his name. So yesterday, he urged Britons to make the most of the reopening of pubs, restaurants and other businesses while warning that difficult decisions lie ahead. A day after unveiling a 30 billion spending splurge in his mini-budget, the Chancellor appealed to the public to dine out and enjoy themselves to help get the economy motoring again after months of lockdown. He said, people out and about, back in restaurants, moving house, renovating homes, installing energy efficiency measures in homes would help boost the economy. And his actual slogan was, eat out to help out. And I just wanted to get your take on that. So what do you think of it, Jonathan?
Basically, he's urging us to go out and buy more alcohol, which is heavily taxed, and that will sort of reimburse the government for all the money it's coughed out. So, yeah, get out there and drink for Britain.
What do you think, Susan?
I find it really annoying that one minute we're being told to stay home as much as possible, and then literally the next minute we're being told to go dine out.
It's because
I
they're
don't mind.
themselves.
And I like eating out. For me personally, this is a great thing. Give me free food and money, and I will happily go out and spend it and kickstart the economy all on my own. That's not a problem. But it does frustrate me that I'm being socially shamed for going out when I'm being asked to, and I just feel like I'm literally supporting the economy.
Oh, they were like, oh, you're all going to die, everybody's got to stay home, oh my god, taxes are drying up and businesses are closing, everyone go out. It's like we're jumping from one extreme to the other. Sam, are you going to eat out to help out?
Is everyone else going to bypass the funniness of that slogan, or no one's
Don't know what you mean. Don't know what you mean.
I don't know the internet for the whole week, and it seems to have passed you two by at least.
Don't know what you
and
mean.
Jonathan, just FYI, you clearly passed you by as well because alcohol is not included in the Eat Out to Help Out scheme. It's food and non-alcoholic beverages up to a maximum of £10.
What's the matter with the bloke? Why is he so miserable? Go out and have a lovely dinner, but don't have any beers.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, if you're spending £10 on a meal, by the time you bought 2 beers, you're spending about £2 on a meal.
You have £20 worth of food, and he'll give you £10 off.
Generous
Per
man.
person.
That's nice.
Where does his money come from, though? Isn't it from us?
Yes.
So we're giving ourselves £10 for a meal. That's nice of us. It's the first time I've ever been asked to go and eat a load of food for my country, and I applaud.
This is one of those things I can get behind.
And I do it's different. It's slightly different that in a market fudge, it's allowing people to choose where they eat out, isn't it?
Yeah, wherever you eat out, Susan can get behind it.
I'm supporting this.
Yeah, good. Hang on a sec, there's a bit more here. Let me just find the next bit. His remarks followed the warnings that the government's budget deficit could soar to an eye-watering 300 billion by the end of the year. We're now, fortunately, able to reopen certain parts of the economy. That's the most important thing we can do to get things going, the Chancellor said. Honestly, it's like sailing on a boat on a tide that keeps taking you up one side and then the other. I bet next week he's telling us to lock down again.
I've seen that he's told people that they need to be going back to work now. No more this working from home. Am I right on that? Thought yesterday he came out with that.
They're ending the furlough soon, aren't they?
Yeah, they basically said you need to go to work, and even on the 1st of August, all those that are have chronic medical conditions not only can come out but can go back to work on the 1st of August as well. That's a swish around, isn't it?
I think that's another T-shirt. I think we should steal his slogan: unapologetic, eat out to help out. I think that would be a great T-shirt for us. Okay, moving on to agenda item 4. And this one's a little bit light-hearted, but also a little bit frightening. So let me just tell you about this, because I think it's going to creep you a little bit. A vampire slaying kit containing a pocket-sized pistol and a 19th century copy of the New Testament is going under the hammer at a leading auction house. The gothic-looking container, worth between £2,000 and £3,000, also comes packed with pliers, rosary beads, and a bottle of shark's teeth. Also inside the metal-bound box is an ivory-robed wolf carrying rosary beads, as well as a blue file with mysterious contents and a silver-bladed pocket knife. And inside the lid is an oval enamel painting that depicts the resurrection of Jesus Christ. There's no record of the box's origin, but the 1842 copy of the New Testament within does bear the inscription of an Isabella Swarbrick. So I guess my question here is, do you think Isabella Swarbrick was a vampire hunter, Sam?
Or maybe she was a vampire.
And was keeping all the stuff down and no one else had it?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're a vampire, right, and you know that all these things can harm you, just have them all, and so then other people haven't got them. It's like a reverse
Or
Keynes,
she might have just killed the vampire hunter and then had all of his belongings and then he died.
Why would you kill a vampire hunter?
No, what I think happened was that someone, it's like, I don't know who, but someone knew that Isabella, whatever her face, was a vampire, and so wrote it in the Bible for anyone to find to know. Track her down.
Jonathan, what do you think's in the mysterious blue file?
Blue file?
Are you following any of this? Or
Well, with difficulty, it appears to involve vampires.
well, that's the question, isn't it? That's what I'm asking you. Does it involve vampires?
Well, I have no idea.
I'm so glad
I
you're on the show.
wouldn't. Pardon?
I'm so glad you're on the show. Listen, you're a man who buys and sells all sorts of weird and wonderful trinkets. If you
Yeah, if you can find some mug to buy it, crack on, old boy.
£3,000.
Free market capitalism at its best. Sell crap and make money.
Well, the current owner,
Incidentally,
who's from the West Midlands, Jonathan, wishes to remain anonymous, but said they don't know very much about his history. They've had it in their collection for about 3 years. It mysteriously appeared one day, and they don't know where from.
Yeah, he's really cool though, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't want that to turn up in my room, and I've no idea where it came from. It's like you've been chosen to be the one.
I can tell you exactly where it came from. It came from an auction at West Bromwich, and I put it on the auction house to get rid of it.
It does look pretty cool. I mean, I would pay £2,000 just for that little pistol.
No, all too soon, Susan. Too soon.
Why is that too soon? What for the girl? What's too soon? What's going on?
It's too soon. It's too soon, Jonathan. You'll be fine.
Not
Don't
too
worry.
soon.
Don't worry. You're going to be fine.
Don't mention the pistol.
I mean, ah!
Anyway, moving swiftly on. Okay, so we've covered all the sort of agenda items I had listed down. Anybody got anything else they want to add? I'll kind of go round you. I'll do you last, Susan, because I know it takes you ages to think of things. So, so needlessly insulting, aren't I? Sam, what have you got?
Yeah, so I think I would like to know who would win in a fight between Vampirella and Captain Marvel.
Nobody knows these characters.
Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel.
Which
You
Captain?
can't beat them.
Which Captain Marvel? The proper male one or the new girl one?
The new girl one.
Yeah, she's pretty much. She has all the powers basically. So.
She goes through ships.
Yeah, she's
Flies
just
in space.
Marvel just decided that the most powerful character had to be a girl because it's part of their wokeness. So they just gave her all the powers, so that she doesn't. Nothing's a challenge. You know, the biggest enemy arrives, and she's just like, "That's that." The most boring movie of all time.
Biggest query I've got really is Captain Marvel. Is it an army captain or a naval captain? Because the rank's quite different.
Yeah,
naval captain is way senior to an army captain.
They're spacefaring race, so I'm guessing naval.
Anyway.
Mean anything or?
I don't know, but I mean, a naval captain's equivalent of a group captain in the Royal Air Force.
You make this big deal about there being a difference and you wanted to know which, and then I tell you which I think it is and I ask you what it means and you say, I don't know. You're useless. What purpose do you serve on this podcast, Jonathan?
Well, I'm the voice of reason.
Oh, I see.
Whoa.
An immortal or not? She's not.
No.
She can be killed.
Yeah.
Because that Vampirella is immortal, so surely that's a trump card, isn't it? If you're immortal.
Yeah,
He's not immortal.
If you're
though.
immortal
She's
and
immortal. She's not invincible.
if you're immortal and not very powerful, people just keep killing you and you keep coming back, but you're just like a nuisance, like a flea.
You're not really great. Looking at vampires though, has anyone thinking about watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer again?
What do you mean again? Is it coming back on?
Oh, it's always on, isn't it? Like,
Oh, I see. You mean
come
just
on.
rewatching it?
Yeah. So during COVID, I've been binge watching stuff. So I've been watching Hannibal. I'm now on Criminal Minds again. I've just been watching various.
Did you say binge watching, or do you mean binge watching?
Binge watching.
You're not seeing.
I thought you
Susan's
said
bins.
bin watching.
It's a bin program, Jonathan. And I'm going to start watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer again soon because it's such a cool program.
I think it's aged poorly.
It hasn't aged.
I remember it being so good,
No,
and now
yeah,
it looks a
let
bit
that
twee.
go.
I'll tell you what's been good is the series Staged, which has been on, which has sort of got, what's his name, who used to be Doctor Who, and the other guy who was in that series with...
This is very vague.
Because I haven't been able to fact check anything, I have to rely on my memory, which is never very good.
Are you saying
David
you would have
Tennant,
come with a
that's
load of
the
the
guy.
people who are in your
And
favourite show?
he's sort of Scottish, and anyhow, it's sort of set where they're trying to do a sort of play, but do it, like we are on Zoom, or trying to rehearse it on Zoom. And it's one of the funniest things I've seen for a long time. It's a series. It's called Stage. Strongly recommend it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, sounds good.
It's good, isn't it?
Can I just say, if I were you, Susan, I'd watch Angel rather than Buffy. I think it was the superior series.
I'll be honest with you, I think I'm going to watch them all. I've got a new sofa coming in a few weeks' time, and I'm just going to sit on it and watch TV every evening that I'm not doing work or counsellor stuff. I'm just going to watch TV and chill.
How is this
That's
any
my
different
plan.
to your normal life?
You missed the opportunity, didn't you? If you wanted another settee, when the tips were shut, you could have driven around almost any lane in Finland and picked up a free one. You could have had a choice.
Yeah,
You've
true.
just doxed us again, Jonathan. You've got to stop doxing us all the time. What have you got anything you want to talk about before we kind of split, Jonathan? How nice that drink is, maybe?
Well, it's very good. It's
Can you just
it's called
advertise it?
Arizona. I don't know what the significance of that is. And it's got kiwi strawberry fruit juice cocktail. And, according to this, it's...
On sale at all good comic shops.
well, possibly. But it's got no protein.
Why would it have?
And it's got no cholesterol. So you'd expect it to taste horrible. But, in fact, it's not bad.
Right, so I've finally come round to you, Susan. You've had lots of time. What do you want to talk about?
Nothing. Oh, come on. Oh, no, I'm okay.
You could talk about dentists, because dentists apparently are now charging £7 for, I keep calling it PPE. Is it PPE?
Yeah, I think that's
PPE.
realistic, though.
And having a face mask on while you're having dental work done seems to me a bit of a kind of, it doesn't work.
So,
I don't know how they...
And yet charging people £7 for it. Bit of a rip-off.
well,
I
it
think
can't be a
we-
rip-off. As long as they clearly advertise the price, it's not a rip-off. You know about it. You just, if you choose not to do it, go somewhere else and pick their prices.
Yeah, with dentistry, it's not so easy to go elsewhere because usually you end up having to go 30 miles away
Jonathan,
because
I'll
no
have a
dentist
go.
is taking anybody on.
Give me 20 quid, I'll have a go.
Yeah, but you were talking about NHS dentists, Jonathan. Private dentists always taking on new people.
Yeah.
A private dentist up to about, I think it's something ridiculous, like £50, wasn't it, though, that they're charging extra at the moment?
Well, no, this wasn't the NHS. This was private dentists charging an extra £7 for you to have a face mask to walk from their front door to their desk. To their
I think
chair.
dentists are a rip-off anyway. I think I went to sign up to a new dentist the other day, and it was something like £64. And I said, but I just want my teeth cleaned. No, we have to check them first, and then you get 2 X-rays. I was like, I don't want an X-ray. No interest in having an X-ray. My teeth are fine. I just like them clean. No, we have to do all of that, do all of the stuff you don't want to. Then you get to book back in for an extra £35 to have them cleaned. So I was like, so £100.
Just come down here. Give me a £5. I'll get a firm brush from Tesco's, not the soft ones, firm one. Give you a good scrubbing. It's no I can sort those teeth out. No problem.
I didn't buy it.
I think things like cleaning teeth could be, just taken out of the hands of dentists and just down to beauticians, and they charge the market rate for cleaning your teeth.
That'll be next, I think, and that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, that would be a really good thing. Just take it off dentists, because the NHS is paying for some people to have this for free, which is pretty pointless, and other people are paying for over the odds for something that's simplicity itself.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great, because men will go to the barbers and it'll be £3.50, and women will go and it'll be £180.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's because when if the man goes to that £3 dentist, he'll literally get a bog brush and some bleach, and that will be cleaning their teeth.
What more do you need? What more do you need?
Yeah.
Have nice toothpaste, mouthwash.
It's got a smell of mints, and you got to have some sort of incense drifting down on you, and somebody's got to have a gentle fan blowing in your hair. Massage on the shoulders.
All I'm going to say to you, Steve, is you got to know your level, and we are obviously higher than you. So you don't mind bleach and a bog brush, and we want potpourri, a nice setting,
little
a
tray
nice
of
smell
chocolates, candles, yoga music.
Literally eating my chocolates today.
Oh, I was.
It's so nice.
Well, we've pretty much covered the whole agenda, and we've had a good chat, and here we are back again. Just to let you know some of the things that might be coming up.
We haven't mentioned the Venezuelan naval ship that sank, have we?
No.
Admittedly, it was a week or two ago, but
no,
it was interesting.
I was going to say nobody cares, but obviously the Venezuelans care. And I care.
Well,
actually. It's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he sort of went out to harass sort of cruise ship, and then rammed the cruise ship and sank.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. Cruise ships are massive.
Well, not just that, but this one apparently was an icebreaker, so it kind of came off second.
It's like a kitten going and ramming an elephant. It's like that'll sort you out.
Yeah, but it was quite a decent sized ship. It was apparently, sort of made in Germany or Portugal or somewhere. But I don't know whether they lost all hands, but you're probably talking 100 crew. But yeah,
they didn't. What? Are you saying that people all died? Surely they escaped.
When ships sink, yeah, that's what tends to happen.
These days you have like lifeboats and stuff, don't you? They all died, did they?
I don't know, because I wasn't able to fact check.
It's much less funny now. I wish you hadn't brought it up. You've ruined the end of this. Ruined the end of this podcast, Jonathan, with your
well, we can talk about it next time.
Sunken ship.
Where we fact checked it.
Sam,
I think it's funny.
You normally research these things. I bet you're sitting there. What are you puffing and blowing about?
Tell me about a Venezuelan Navy ship, said nobody ever.
You're so heartless. People died on that ship. All crew, Jonathan said, went down.
They didn't die, did they? It was right next to a cruise ship. Mind you, to be fair.
Oh, the cruise ship were going to rescue them, were they? It was like, you rammed us.
You'd think they would, though, wouldn't you? Like a load of people in the water. You wouldn't just keep, going on past. Did anyone actually die from it?
Nobody knows. Because Jonathan didn't get through his
I
research.
don't know now.
Jonathan hasn't
we'll have to find out for next time.
Good.
I really wish Jonathan wasn't on this podcast anymore.
Oh.
Anyway, so I just wanted to tell you what might be coming. So we've got the possible. We talked in the past about maybe having some guests on to join us for the odd show, and we have 2 local journalists interested in being on the show, from opposing local newspapers. Well, when I say opposing, they're competitive. So that could be quite entertaining. And what I'd like you all to think about is what subjects we're going to engage them on, and see where we go with it, because it could be quite funny.
Are they coming on at the same time?
No. It'll be one and then the other.
I think for fairness, though, we should record them and not post them until they've both done their interviews.
And then change all the things they say, use them out of context, switch them around.
Say,
Have a bit of your own medicine.
I'm just trying. Oh no, 8
Got my chair back then. Sorry?
Well, I think it was an invasion plot. It wasn't just like, we don't like you here. They were trying to take over the ship.
No, we're back to Venezuela.
Stop. Along with the second US citizen and 11 others, and attempted to enter Venezuela by boat. I think this is not necessarily what you think this is, Jonathan.
Jonathan, you
I think you probably got the official line from Venezuela there, who said it was an invasion ship, which it wasn't.
You present this grim story, Jonathan, as though it's light-hearted. It's a terrible thing to do. Look what you've done now. You've made us all chuckle along with what could actually be people dying. Let's have just a...
Anyway, let's close that window.
Have I bothered? Yeah.
Let's have just a moment of silence, please. No, that's enough. Right, okay, so that's pretty much everything for today. I don't think we've got anything else to add, so I think all that remains is to say we have been Unapologetic, the UK podcast on politics, news and stuff from a right-of-centre viewpoint. Say goodnight, Jonathan.
Good night, Jonathan.
Say goodnight, Sam.
Good night.
And say goodnight, Susan.
Night.
I'm Steve, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.